afternoon, adventurers. Well, here we are on a typically rainy, drizzly, windy Pacific Northwest day. But we're about ready to embark on a whole new adventure. We're going to start tricking out my wife's 2021 Rubicon Jeep Tuscadero Pink. And we're going to start by installing new running boards and rock guards. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, because you don't want to miss out on any of the cool mods we're going to do to this Jeep. So let's get to it.
You left me all alone, yeah, outside in the cold. Wanted to come over, wanted you to know how I'm getting over. Like I said before, your heart is fucking cold. I'm better off. I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone. I'm better off alone.
The tools and supplies needed for the upgrade to the 2021 Jeep Rubicon will include the use of a creeper. Depending on your workspace, you might find this very helpful. Like me, I'm on wet concrete. This will also include the use of a 3/8 inch drive socket wrench, which will include both a 10mm and 13mm deep drive socket, which we'll use to remove the old rock guards as well as install the new ones. The directions for the new rock guards suggest the use of a torque wrench. I honestly did not use this. You might find this to be the least useful tool on the list. I just used German torque specs, good and tight. And of course we want to include our parts package, which I did not use all of these also. I was able to use a lot of the hardware from the old rock guards that I removed. Installation instructions? Probably don't need those. And if you're anything like me, a beat up soldier and construction worker, you might find a set of knee pads to be very handy. Now, depending on your work situation and where you're able to get this job done, a work light might also be very useful to you. So plan ahead. Now that we got everything ready to go, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off with our 10mm bolt. Each side of the Jeep is going to have 6 10mm bolts, and we're going to start with those. We're going to remove all 6 of those at each of the 3 points. Once that's done, we'll take care of the 13mm bolts, and we'll start with the front and the rear and finish up with the center. I'm going to go ahead and speed this along so that we don't waste time. Now it's time to take out the 13mm bolts. We're going to start with the end and then the other end, and we'll finish off with the center. Now we don't have to worry about the rock guard falling in our lap because the bolts for the 10mm bolts are a part of the rock guard frame. So it'll hold in there just fine after we take out that last bolt. So let's get to it. Now that we got that done, we'll repeat the same steps for the driver's side. We have 6 10mm bolts and 3 13mm bolts. And once we have that completed, we'll be ready for our install. Don't mind the rain.
All right, now that we got the old ones taken off, it was pretty easy. There were 9 bolts per rock guard, 3 13mm and 6 10mm. Pretty easy to take off. We did save the bolts just in case. But now we're going to take some time to prep the parts package and have everything ready to go so that we're not trying to put stuff together while we're under there. And by doing so, I mean that we're going to cut this stuff open, we're going to get the washers and stuff put on the bolts, and have everything ready to go for us so that while we're laying under there and holding the thing up, we can just reach down, grab a bolt, and screw it in. It's going to be pretty easy to do. Now, one of the best tips I can give you, or offer you, is don't get rid of the box. You're going to find that the box is probably going to be a little bit more useful to you than you think.
All right, now that we got our parts laid out, you can see that we have our 6 black bolts, which are a 13mm, which bolt to the frame. And then we have those silver bolts. To be perfectly honest with you, you can use all of the hardware from the old rock guards. The only things you actually need out of the parts package are the silver bolts. I opted to go ahead and use the bolts in the parts package. The most important thing to take into consideration, especially with those black 13mm, is that you ensure you put the washers on correctly. You want the lock washer and then the flat washer. The directions suggested to use these silver bolts in a certain order. Silver bolt would go into the rock guard, and then you'd have a flat washer and the lock washer and then the nut. You can see that the nut is actually much larger than the lock washer and defeats the purpose. So I didn't like this setup, so I went ahead and used the old locking nut washers from the old rock guards. And now we're ready to get started with the installation. So let's go ahead and get to it. This is why I suggested hanging onto the box. If you're doing it like me and doing it by yourself, the box actually happens to be the perfect height to stage the rock guards to enable a very easy installation, as you'll see. It was very easy having the rock guards propped up on the box, enabling me to lift up one end and install the body bolts, and then lifting up the other end and installing the body bolts, and it was held in there just fine. So that made it very easy doing it by myself. The only thing that's left to do now is to finish installing the rest of the bolts. We have 6 10mm bolts and 3 13mm bolts. Now it's very important that you keep all of these loose until you're ready to tighten all of them down so that the rock guard can be adjusted. And then we're going to complete the exact same steps for the driver's side. So I'm going to go ahead and speed this along so we don't waste time, and we'll take a look at the finished product. I actually left the box there for a rain guard so that I wasn't getting rained on while I was installing and tightening the rest of the bolts. Now, the most crucial step of this is that once you have everything installed is to go back through and make sure everything is tightened down to German torque spec, good and tight. And we'll repeat the same process for the driver's side. Now let's take a look at the finished product. Well, despite some wet clothes and cold fingers, we got the job done in a pretty short period of time. This would take you approximately an hour to an hour and a half. Now, if you were looking to build a rock crawler out of your Jeep, these wouldn't be the best running boards or rock guards. These are going to limit some of your clearance, at least from side to side. These don't extend past the frame, so they don't limit the overall clearance of the vehicle, but for rock crawlers, these are probably not the best choice. However, they work very well for us. We love how they look, and they're very functional. Now don't forget to like and subscribe. You don't want to miss out on any of the other great videos we're going to be posting about our upgrades and mods to this Jeep, to include a lift, tires, as well as various other things. We're going to be turning this into an overland vehicle and installing a rooftop tent. So be sure to stay tuned.